Welcome back to Ask the King. I just knocked my hat off my head, which is why I'm trying to reposition it here. This is part 2. Lots of questions to still get to, so let's get right back into it. First question. I know that you subscribe to a fast internet service, but the lag is obviously on your side as it's a reoccurring thing from match to match. Many of us have had plenty of matches with very minimal lag. I don't know what he's talking about. Is he talking about Marvel? Is he talking about an FPS game? I have no idea. He says, my question is, are there any other options as far as internet goes? It's annoying that the stability of your service provider is limiting your content. I don't blame you for not wanting to play Marvel 3 online. Okay, so that must be what he's talking about. With the lag you experience, but it's definitely on your side. It needs to be fixed as you're limiting your content by having shitty connectivity. That's from Bill O'Reilly, Does It Lie? Well, first of all, the first comment I have to make is it's the internet in this area. It's not, and I'm not saying, you know, that there's shitty internet here. The internet here is decent. It's just the internet in this area, everyone has the same problems. There's absolutely nobody that I know in Connecticut, and I'm going to even go as far to say in New York. I have no pro players in New York, in Massachusetts. I've talked to them at the past 2 tournaments I've been to, Winter Brawl and Final Round. They all agree that you cannot play Marvel 3 online. It is just too shitty. So I don't know where you live, Bill O'Reilly Does It Live, but unless you have like some godlike internet that no one knows about, all of the pro players are consensually, like, we're all agreeing, we come to a consensus, Marvel 3 sucks online, there's no way to play it online competitively. So I'm not sure where you're coming from, saying, oh, you've played matches with no lag. That's great. Who did you play? The guy next door? I mean, let's be realistic here. Now, coming to your question, is there any other internet available in my area? I did look into it. The only other internet available in my area would be considered a dedicated business line. And the difference between that and what I have now is, basically it has to work 24/7 because it's a lot more expensive. It's a dedicated line just for me. It's not a shared line like this line is in my condo right now. Problem with that? They don't install it in residential areas. They will not install it in a condo like this because it's a lot, first of all, it's a lot of labor, number one. And number two, in a condo facility like this, the condo association basically wants every single unit to be comparable. And doing a drastic change like that, like adding a dedicated internet line, what if I sell this place in 5 years? Well, the next person's probably not going to want a dedicated internet line. Now they're going to have to come back and do more work. So the condo association is not going to approve any kind of a change like that to the internet. But the idea I've been throwing around, I know it seems kind of silly, but apparently some other people on YouTube have done it because people have mentioned it to me. If this works out this year, let's say I do this whole year, you know, doing video game playthroughs and videos on YouTube, if I make enough money, and it's a significant amount of money, next year there's a definite possibility that I've been juggling that maybe I'll get an office. Maybe I'll actually get an office outside of my condo where I'll set up a gaming rig with a TV, surround sound, whatever, get a couch, get maybe some side systems so that when I want to do co-op play with people like John or Howard or my other friends that we can do that, and get a dedicated internet line at the business. That way, that'll solve a lot of problems. Number one, if my internet goes down here or I have internet problems, I can go to the business and do it there. Number two, I can get the dedicated business line, which is really cool. It'll probably be a lot faster than what I have now. And number three, it's all considered business expense and I can write it all off on my taxes. So it's definitely a serious consideration that I'm thinking of for next year. We'll see how stuff goes this year. And also, how cool would that be? Having an office, I have a whole new studio. It would like be having a studio to film it. I could do better stuff. I could do green screen. I could take it a lot more seriously. So I'm excited. I think it's a really good possibility, but we'll see how this whole thing pans out this year, and we'll talk more about this later in the year. Okay. This next question is extremely long, but I think it's a really good question because it's something pertinent and something that I think needs to be brought up at this point. And I should have started my stopwatch before I answered that last question. Alright, here goes. Phil. In the past month or so, 2 people that are partnered with Machinima have been telling viewers to favorite their videos, and by doing so, the viewer has a chance to win something. This not only increases their view count and comments, but lands them in the top favorited spot on the front page of YouTube, which would last 3 to 4 days. They get a massive amount of exposure for making a video about giving something away, while people who actually are producing good content, for example, some of your channels, are getting bumped down further in the most viewed gaming category as well as the top favorited category. Both people have since stopped because they were getting too much shit for it. I guess there was some negative feedback because they were doing this, but not before causing lots of damage. They without a doubt put the idea of giveaways into a lot of other people's minds. There's also other YouTubers who are doing this, like Shane Dawson, just to name one. He's someone who doesn't even need the boost for his favorites or views, but he does it anyway. I, for one, think that boosting is taking advantage of the system. It's something that YouTube needs to address and somehow fix. I don't think it's right that someone like Shane Dawson can land in the top favorited from a giveaway when his same video is already #1 in the top viewed weekly, top viewed entertainment, etc. It's greedy and it shits all over smaller, more deserving channels. So I ask you this. Now that you have a job with Machinima, or now that you have a partnership with Machinima, do you ever feel yourself holding back on some things that you may have talked about in the past? I know that censorship is actually a big deal with you, and how you've always maintained that you'll never hold back attitude. But I also feel that Machinima has strict rules about making negative comments about fellow partners and how it's forbidden to do so. Also, what are your thoughts about people like Shane Dawson, Phil DeFranco, and other high-ranked YouTubers having these giveaways to boost their channels? Thanks, Slick. That was a long-ass question, but I think it's opened up my eyes and it's opened up the eyes of a lot of people, so let's address it. First of all, what I do want to say, which I don't think you're aware of, is there's no rule that says that I can't talk shit about anyone. It's not in the contract. The Machinima partnership contract says Machinima has rights to advertise on my videos. That's it. It has nothing to do with stuff like what you're saying. Now, maybe there is some silent agreement, you know, that Machinima partners won't talk negatively about each other. I've not been contacted about that. Now, to your point that two people under this Machinima partnership have been doing that, I don't know who they are, and I'm not aware. You know, it's like I said in the past, I'm so busy doing my own stuff, I don't have time to watch other people's videos. I don't have time to fart around on YouTube and do this kind of stuff. So I'm not aware this is going on. I don't know who they are. So I can't talk shit about them anyway. But what I can say is, yeah, it doesn't seem like cheating. Absolutely. But is it a savvy business plan? Yeah, it actually is. If they have stuff to give away, and if this is actually getting them more views, then it is a pretty interesting and smart business plan. Can I really blame them for taking advantage of a system that YouTube has set up to work like that? I really can't. Being that I come from a business background and business acumen, I mean, it's smart. It's actually smart thinking. So I give them credit for that, at least, for being savvy business people and knowing, gee, I can get more views if I do this, even though really it's not because of the quality of my content, it's because I'm basically saying there's a chance you can get something for free, but if it gets them more views, it works. I guess the question is, would I ever do something like that? The answer is no. That's not what I'm about. I'm here for one reason. I'm here to entertain you, okay? And to educate you at the same time about the quality of games. So if I'm #1 making you laugh, or at least entertaining you in some way, while at the same time I'm educating you on games, so you know, gee, is this a good game, is this a bad game, look at Phil play it, oh, he got better at the game, this is what the game's like on a competitive level, yada yada yada. If those two things are happening, I'm doing my job, okay? And I've kind of said this, you know, people say, oh, why would people do something like that? It's because obviously it's very simple. Those guys are in it for the money. They're not doing it to entertain. They're not doing it to have fun. They're not doing it because, you know, they want to please people or make people happy, which is really the reason I'm doing this. They're doing it to make money. It's that simple. And that's a shame. It's a shame that people in this day and age are still doing stuff just to make money. You know what? It's the same with pro athletes. Back in the day, a lot of people could argue, wow, sports were a lot better back then because the athletes were really amazing and they went the extra mile and you could tell they were doing it because they loved the game. Today, a lot of these pro sports, these people don't even like what they're doing. They're just doing it for the money. And so, I'm not surprised that people are trying to find exploits like this to get more popular and to make more money. But I'll never do it. You know, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. From what I've seen, what I'm doing is what people want, okay? People want to see me do honest commentary on video games and also make jokes and stuff like that to make it entertaining. And I think I'm good at it, and that's the overwhelming feedback I've gotten is, yes, you're good at it, that's why you're so popular on YouTube. That's why within 1 year, my DSP gaming channel has over 50 million total views. 1 year, 50 million views. That's amazing. It took over 2 years for me to get around roughly, say, 80 to 90 million views on Darkside Phil. here I am on DSP Gaming, and in 1 year I've got more than half of that. So that's pretty damn amazing. Yeah, so the overwhelming feedback is positive for what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and the bonus of it is that I'm getting to make a living off of having fun and doing what I'm doing. So for me, sure, it is a way to support myself, but I just want to keep having fun, and I want you to keep having fun with me. So I'm not going to change. I'm not going to use silly gimmicks and exploits to try to get more popular. That's not what I'm about. It's never been what I'm about. If they want to do it, God willing, let them do it. And, you know, it's YouTube's job to try to find exploits like this and take them down. Now, Shane Dawson, I could write a book on Shane Dawson, but I'm not going to. Like I said, I don't have time to worry about what other people are doing. I'm busy with myself. But yeah, it is kind of despicable that he's trying to do gimmicks and shit like this, when it basically shows how greedy he is. That, you know, rather than being grateful for what he has, he's greedy. People are greedy. That's life. I mean, it's pretty much an inevitability of life. People will be greedy, people will do despicable things, and push other people down and keep other people under their boot to try to get ahead. And it looks like that's what people are doing. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it, you know. They do these giveaways, and, you know, it's stupid, because if they really care, they just give free stuff away. Obviously, it's not the deal. They're trying to get something out of it, and it's greed, and that is what it is. It's business. It's just business. That's why I'm not taking it personal. I'm not going to stand here on a soapbox and rant that these are evil people, but they're greedy people. Whatever. All right. I'm done with it. Next question. Someone wants to know what I think about the Jersey Shore. That's from SFC Pearson. He asked me, what do you think about the Jersey Shore? I think that it's an absolutely ridiculous concept. I think the only reason that it became popular is because the people on it are so ridiculous that people kind of can't even believe that people act like that. I think that there's absolutely no reason for any of them to be celebrities, even though it seems like America loves to make a habit of taking people who have no reason to be famous and make them famous. Like, what exactly does Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, what do they do? Nothing. They're not funny. They're not singers. They're not models. They're nothing. But they're famous and filthy rich. Now, sure, they were already rich because they already were in these families of wealth, but they've become entities on their own for absolutely no reason. It seems like the same thing's happening. I mean, why the hell is Snooki in a match at WrestleMania 27? I have no fucking clue. Because she doesn't belong there. She's not a celebrity, in my opinion. There's no reason for her to be famous. She's not pretty, that's for sure. Everyone agrees there. She has an annoying personality. The only reason that she's become popular is because she was on this stupid TV show, and people were like, wow, people are that fucking retarded? Yeah, people actually are. But why people continue to make these people famous, I have no idea. Like, Jersey Shore was kind of an oddity. Like, it should have existed for one season. People should have said, wow, these people are really fucked up, and they should have never watched the show again. But people are just fascinated with dysfunction in the United States. That's the truth of the matter. The Osbournes, when they had their reality show, that whole show was about a dysfunctional family. People fucking loved it. Here's a whole dysfunctional culture on the Jersey Shore. People fucking love it. So whenever people see this dysfunction, for whatever reason, people love it. And I don't know if it makes people feel better about themselves that they're not fucking retarded like that. I really have no idea. But I can tell you this. It's a stupid show. It's completely pointless. I'll never watch it. And I think the people on it are kind of fucking worthless people. You wonder why the world's overpopulated? It's because of people like them. Those are the people you could cut the Jersey Shore off and fucking sail it out into the Atlantic Ocean, and no one would be any none the wiser, you know? We wouldn't suffer for it. Oh well. Next, that's fucked up, I know. Next question, because I'm running out of time and I'm taking too long. Hey Phil, whatever happened to all the people who have been doing remixes, and he's talking about musical remixes, of your videos? I feel like I'm the only person now that's doing it, now that Ghost Drone is gone, and we haven't heard back from anybody. Thanks, from the Air Raid Lord. I don't know. You might want to ask him. I know the Mass Defect still contacts me and talks to me, but he hasn't done a remix in a while. He has actually made that song for my videos, so that was really good. He actually made that intro song for the Weekend Preview that I'm using. S-Beast from S-Beast Music hasn't done a remix in quite a while, but he's actually made a custom song for me for my videos, and I use that for my unboxing videos. So they're still around, they're just not really actively doing remixes for whatever reason. Maybe it's because they just don't have time to watch a whole playthrough. Ghost Drone, from everything that I've heard, he's still busy with college and everything. He enjoyed being popular with this, but he had other more important things to move on to. So that's that. Hey Phil, I watched your Crysis 2 multiplayer gameplay and I loved it. But talking about when an enemy kills you, the kill cam shows the guy shooting at you, but either he misses or he's not shooting at you at all. And I kind of noticed it's the similar thing when I played Black Ops. So going into my question, why is it that these first-person shooters have online play where it seems that there's delay with the kill cam? Personally, it confuses me, and I don't know whether the enemy actually hit me or whether the game decided, oh well, it was a close shot, so let's just give it to him. It downright pisses me off sometimes, and I would like to know your opinion, as you do seem to encounter the same problems whenever you play these FPS games online. That's from Kistarogi. Sorry, Kistarogi. You're absolutely right. I've noticed the same thing, and the bottom line is this. It's like I've said, but people don't seem to understand. Alright? FPS games, when they're played online, are very different from fighting games, okay? In a fighting game, you need the best connection possible, because it's a 2D plane, you're seeing what's happening, and there's no room for error. If I do a jump kick, and I try to do a combo afterwards, the internet needs to recognize the jump kick. First of all, you press the button, the hit connected. Because of that, the opponent is still open for a follow-up attack leading into a combo. All right, a lot of factors that need to be generated very quickly. In an FPS game, it's not as precise. In an FPS game, the netcode is actually a lot more lax. So, for example, in Black Ops, a lot of the times it's absolutely true. On your screen, it may show you shooting the guy, but on the other guy's screen, it may not show you shooting the guy. And you've seen this. If you watch some of my Black Ops gameplay, some of my Crysis 2 gameplay, you would have noticed this. A lot of people don't understand that it's happening, but I do because I've played so many games. Why is it that on my screen, I see the guy first, I draw my weapon, I look down the side, I go boom, 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 so I get 4 shots off, then I die and the other guy survives. And I say, what the fuck, what happened? Then you go to the kill cam, and in the kill cam, here's the guy shooting me first. And I'm like, wait a minute, on my screen, I drew my weapon, I fired 4 shots before he ever got a shot off. It's because the netcode of FPS games is very, very lax, it's very loose. Unlike the netcode for fighting games, or what needs to be the netcode for fighting games for them to work. So, yes, you're absolutely right. These games are giving a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, because there's 2 connections coming from 2 different places hitting a server. The server basically is rolling the dice. It takes this input, it takes this input, it uses a formula, it rolls the dice, and it says, oh, we're going to give Phil the benefit of the doubt this time. Phil killed the guy, and that's what you see. And all that's happening instantaneously. So, just think about that. And that's how difficult it is to write netcode for a fighting game, because unlike the shooting games, where it's maybe not taken that seriously, in a fighting game, it's one-on-one action, and it really needs to be perfect, and no one's found a way to do it yet. So that's why you have so much lag, so many problems with fighting game netcode, and people don't really complain that much about it in games like Black Ops or Crysis 2. But you're absolutely right. These games are rolling the dice. They're giving people the benefit of the doubt. A lot of the times the people aren't as good as they look, simply because the netcode was bullshit. It is what it is, and that's how it's always been for these games online, unfortunately. And that's it. Alright, I believe we have a couple more quick questions here. And I'm running out of time. I only have like 7 minutes left. Before I get to this question, I want to answer another one quickly. A lot of people have asked me, are you going to watch WrestleMania 27? The answer is yes. I will be watching it live on Sunday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for the first time ever, if people want to talk about it, what I would say is go on the website, thekingofhate.com, and open up the chat. It's in the upper right-hand corner. There's a chat button. You click it, and I'll be in the chat room. At least I'll try to be in the chat room during WrestleMania and talk with people about what's going on. There's another chat room that I go to. It's on MIRC, if anyone's ever used it. On EFNet, it's called Pound Wrestling. The Problem is they always have a size limit, and usually the people in there, it's the same 100 or so people for the past decade have been in there, and they don't really like a lot of outsiders, so I wouldn't want a lot of people flooding that. I'm probably going to be in that chat as well. So I'll be in both the website's chat and another chat, chatting it up with people while I watch WrestleMania, so if you want to tune in and share some time there and some conversation, check that out. Someone asks, has your love and dedication to gaming scored you any points with the ladies? That's from Seamaster. The answer to that is no. Actually, it's probably subtracted points with the ladies. I'm so busy now playing games and stuff that I don't even really meet women anymore, so who cares? I'm not really focused on that right now. Alright, we have some Twitter questions I want to get through quickly, and then the last question is going to be a really serious question. So let me get through the Twitter questions. First one, what is your least favorite genre in gaming, and what is the most overrated genre currently in gaming? That's from Ryan Kubo. My least favorite genre is racing, because most racing games, especially racing sims, are you get in the car, first of all you customize the car, then you get in the car, you start the car, and you drive the car. I can fucking do that in my car. Like, what's the big deal? What's the fantasy there? And sure, you can say, well, what about racing? I also don't like racing in real life. I think that NASCAR is extremely boring. It's called 7,000 left turns. Like, I don't get it. And I know that there's a large audience for that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that like it. I'm just not one of those people, so I don't like racing. On the flip side of that, I love games like Twisted Metal and games that put a modifier on the racing aspect that make it more interesting. That's why I was actually interested in MotorStorm Apocalypse until they delayed the game indefinitely. The most overrated genre is absolutely first-person shooters. There's way too many of them. Everyone's trying to cash in on Call of Duty and Halo. It's that simple. I am so depressed asks, do I like chili dogs? I seem like the kind of guy that would like chili instead of relish. I love chili dogs, just like Sonic the Hedgehog. And then the last Twitter question I chose to answer was from JK Wong 111, and his question is, now that you've played much of WWE All-Stars, do you think that they should stick with this arcadey kind of gameplay, or should it go back to being a sim? My answer to that is I think that there's a market for both, but I actually am really enjoying WWE All-Stars. I think it's a lot of fun. And just so everyone knows, I did play a small handful of matches online, but I didn't record them. And it's actually, even though it does lag a lot, it's pretty fun, and the gameplay changes a lot. It's more about running away and trying to get that one or two like key hits in to get your momentum moving, to keep the match moving. And I liked it a lot when I played online. And I will be doing online play, so you'll see that on ESP Gaming eventually. But personally, I actually think if they go a more arcadey route, maybe not the silly graphics. I think the graphics of all everyone roided up is too much. But if they go a more arcadey route with the gameplay, it might actually sell more than The Sims. Okay? Last question, and this is a serious one. I wanted to give it some time. I've got maybe 3 or 4 minutes, so here we go. Hi Phil, I'm not sure if anyone asked this yet, or if you already know, I apologize in advance. During a tournament for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 this week actually it's happened, 2 guys named Noel Brown and Smooth Viper started literally fighting each other and had to be stopped by other people at the tournament. You can find footage of this on YouTube. If you look for it, it'll pop up eventually. I've already seen it. My question is this: what is your take on this? How do you believe that behavior should be? How do you believe that behavior should be tolerated? I guess you're saying, should it be tolerated? Have you seen anything similar to this during your time being a competitive gamer in general? Thanks a lot if you read this, and good luck with everything. And that is from Hayan. Not sure how to pronounce that. Wow. First of all, this, if you haven't heard, this happened at a weekly tournament for Marvel 3 at 8 on the Break, which is an arcade, an actual physical arcade in Dunellen, New Jersey. This happened this week, and let me tell you, this arcade, I just feel bad for the owner, Chris Cotty. I know him personally. I actually ran a major tournament, East Coast Championships, at his arcade once, and this guy is just trying to keep his business alive in a dying market. Right now, arcades are dying, and he just has the worst luck. It just so happens that a couple of years ago, there was another fight at that arcade. This was over Marvel 2, and that was between Executioner from New York and Sanford Kelly from New York, and they ended up going out back and slapping each other around for a while. Now, in this case, what happened was Noel Brown is a player who used to be a roommate with Justin Wong, okay? Noel Brown, I'll be honest with everyone because I know this guy for a while, he's a big mouth. He talks shit to everyone. It's really fucking annoying. And I particularly remember at an NEC a couple years back, there was a match between Nestor and someone from New York, and Nestor's trying to concentrate, and here's Noel Brown standing behind him going, yeah, you dropped the combo, you suck, ha. So he's a really fucking annoying character with a really big mouth, okay? That says nothing to his gaming skill. He's actually a really good player, okay? But personally, no one really likes the guy. So, Smooth Viper from New York, from New York, his name's Eric in real life, I know him personally. He's a good guy. He's actually a cool guy, and easy to get along with. I've never had a problem with the guy. But he's the kind of guy that doesn't take shit. And when he sees someone like Noel, you know what? That guy's so fucking annoying, and he goes out of his way to annoy people. I'm going to annoy him. That's the kind of guy Smooth Viper is. So what's been happening is, over the past couple tournaments, I believe, that have been going on, they've both been at these tournaments, and when Noel plays, Smooth Viper talks shit to him. Like, yeah, you suck, you lost, haha, you fucking scrub. Stuff like that. And, basically what happened, and Noel tried to actually defend, or Noel, I apologize, I don't know how to say his name, who cares. He tried to defend himself on Event Hubs. He sent them comments on what happened, and basically his side of the story is, Smooth Viper's been doing this for a while, and basically it all bubbled up that Smooth Viper's only been doing it to Noel, and no one else, and so basically he's taking it at this point as a personal attack. He had enough, he had just lost a match, and he was talking shit. He got up and he punched him in his face. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have sent any comments anywhere, because that probably makes you look even worse. First of all, what happened is he's banned from the break for 3 weeks. My personal opinion, physicality should never, ever come into play when it comes to video games. And it's a shame that these guys take Marvel 3 so seriously that they have to do this kind of stuff. It is just a game, but on the flip side, I can kind of understand now that I make money off of it. They're trying to make money off of it by winning tournaments and stuff like that. But you should never get physical. It's that simple. There's no reason to ever fight. And therefore, what he did was completely 100% wrong. He should apologize, not only to Smooth Viper, but to the entire community for now making us look bad for doing it. And, in my opinion, and I'm sorry because I have strong opinions, he should be permanently banned from the tournament scene. He should never be allowed to play again. Since he can't behave like an adult, he should now have to move on and find something else to do with his life besides playing video games. Because there's so many people right now in the fighting game community trying to turn it into their full-time occupation. He's one of them. You blew your chance. He should be out permanently. That's my opinion. Now the break gave him a break and said, we'll ban you for 3 weeks. You can come back in 3 weeks, but never do it again. If you do it again, you're permanently banned. I get the feeling if he does this at any other tournament, his shot's done. No one's going to let him participate ever again. So, that's that. That's my opinion. Physicality should never come into it. I personally have never gotten into a fight over video games. I think it's ridiculous. Who the fuck cares? It's a fucking game. Maybe Noel thought that it got taken to another level. You handle that outside of the game. So, if that really would happen, you say, get outside right now, we're walking down the street and we'll settle this like men. You don't get up from the game, turn around, and fucking punch the guy in the face, okay? Especially when you're inside the arcade, where now the arcade gets a bad rep because there was a fight there. That's absolutely ridiculous, it's disrespectful, it's not being an adult, it's being a child and being a selfish individual. Should not have happened. I think that, like I said, he owes everyone an apology. My opinion, he should never be allowed to play again, but that's just my opinion. It's up to these tournament organizers what they do in the future. Alright, that was a long-ass packed episode of Ask the King. I'm out of time, so thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned.